New earth leaders and spiritual entrepreneurs. You don't have a money problem. You have an identity that keeps resetting your results. I am Angela Cruz. I am an Akashic mentor and identity stabilization guide. And today, through this playlist, this series, Money and Identity, I'm going to help you to reverse engineer your relationship with money through identity. Well, in fact, this is what I see through the Akashic field. When I read patterns, identity patterns through the Akashic field, what I see here is identity fragmentation. You don't have a funnel problem, you don't have a marketing problem, you don't have a strategy problem. That's why you are not attracting clients or money into your business through you. You are still tap into an identity that have outgrown, but at the same time, your nervous system doesn't trust in this outgrown identity. So, this is exactly what is happening. Your identity is mirroring the embodiment that you are holding. And the embodiment that you are holding is an identity that feels fearful to sustain the outgrown identity that I call the most elevated version of your divinity in your humanity, in your human body, where divinity and humanity can coexist in harmony in practical ways, materializing your dreams, materializing, manifesting what you want, what you truly want in your life. So the question is not what do I really want? The question is what is the identity that my nervous system is still holding on to that keeps me protected and away from the amount of money, from my financial goals, the results that my divine identity really wants? Wow. And before I continue, I invite you to take long deep breath into your heart. Because here it's where your Akashic blueprint resides. Your sacred truth and your divine identity is here. So breathe into it. What is the identity that truly wants, that can sustain the results, the desires, the manifestation that my spirit is set here in this body that really wants for me now? Breathe, breathe. And I see clearly now through this Akashic field is the energy of belonging. When I said that your nervous system cannot hold and sustain the outgrown identity that you have been through already, but your nervous system is not catching up the codes of this outgrown identity. Why? Because there is the energy of loyalty, loyalty and belonging to this older version. There is still a second gain. There is still some kind of practical use on your daily life that is expressed in your inner talk. What do you really talk to you about? Yourself, about your truth, about your purpose, about your mission, about your relationship with money. What is money truly for you? But through your inner talk. Because your inner talk is mirroring, this is the shift. Your inner talk is still mirroring the identity that is embodied, not the identity that you have outgrown. So when I said that there is a fragmentation, there is a dance or timelines that you navigate of identities. And your nervous system wants always to play safe and what is familiar. And then the sense of belonging is still in the older version of you, not in your leadership, in your authority that is sustained by your sovereignty. The older version is not sovereign enough to sustain the outgrown identity. Why? Because it belongs to all the imprints that you have received and validated in your childhood, that you cannot have more than your parents once sacrificed to have. You cannot outgrow what they have done for you. You cannot outgrow their own identities, because if you do so, expansion sound risky, and then you come back to where your nervous system is still used to what is familiar to me. And then this play that you part of you expands, another part stays safe, then you move, then you stop, then you go back, then you question, then you doubt, then you prepare, and then you say that you need more healing. And then you go over and over and over again this preparation. Then you invest yourself much more. Then you do this and that. I'm not saying this is wrong, because I do with myself constantly, but not in the preparation phase, the phase of embodying my divinity. And that process is the loop that you are. You are bouncing, you are navigating. That's the dance. You go and you come back. You move forward and you move backwards. So you go back and forth, back and forth. This is the looping, because your outgrown identity cannot be sustained. Pay attention what I'm going to say. Cannot be sustained in the body, because you have these fragments of identity. What is yours? Is the hustler? Is the dreamer? Is the visionary? Is the preparer? Which one is it? There are severals. And then that reflection mirrors your relationship with money. Money comes and doesn't stay, or money is hard to get in, to come into my field. Uh, what I really want, my desires, I struggle to materialize in my reality. That's why you are looping, and that looping reflects on your relationship with money, because you cannot sustain your outgrown identity, because you are a leader. You have already your spiritual business. You have an income ceiling that you cannot surpass it, because there is this dance of fragmented energies and identities. And that confuses your energetic blueprint around money, and never stabilize. So the point here is to start shifting your body, is stabilize your divine identity in the body. And this is the work that I do, that I help soulpreneurs, new earth leaders, the chosen ones that are meant to go through all of this, so that you can anchor your authority into the sovereignty, your ancestry records, as I am reading now, everything that you went through in your childhood, in fact, from the moment that you were conceived in your mom's womb, that you have the unison of the divine feminine, divine feminine, masculine that come from your parents. And then you start being generated. Then you had your divinity and humanity there in the womb. Two souls in one body. And the contracts that you set with yourself there in the womb that later were validated in your childhood, that those contracts are still dictating the safety, the identity patterns that wants to play safe. That is the what your nervous system is still holding on to. And it doesn't matter how much you have done now, up to now, so far, in terms of ascension, evolution, amazing. But you have to look back and see that to make peace with this, to accept everything so that you can start shifting. So that your nervous system, the first thing that is meant in order to actualize into the identity that you have outgrown and play safe there, is to relax your nervous system. How? Accepting what you have done so far. This is the first foundational step to start stabilizing your divine identity in your human body and reconnect with the soul contracts that you have set before incarnate, that you chose that family system to went through to feel in the body the human desires, the human fears, the human loops, the human struggles, the human capacity to manifest and to live in harmony, humanity and divinity. That's why you are the chosen one. And that's why you have a spiritual business, because it's the vessel that source works through you. If you want to start stabilizing that and manifest more money in your life, because money is here to support your evolution, growth, and expansion, and feel good about that. Live in harmony with divinity and humanity, and through your divine identity, through your soul blueprint, your soul technology, and new earth leadership, authority, and sovereignty, join my free membership, Align to Thrive, and we can start really connecting there and much more so that you can unleash what you have set with yourself before this humanness. I'm Angela Cruz, your Akashic mentor.